Betrayal doesn't come from your enemies. It comes from those you trust most. The friend who suddenly turns cold, the partner who walks away without explanation, the colleague who stabs you in the back when you least expect it. And the worst part? You never saw it coming. But what if I told you the signs were always there? Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, believed that betrayal isn't just a random act of cruelty, it follows a pattern, a hidden psychological script that plays out in human relationships. And once you understand it, you'll never be blindsided again. So, why do people betray you? And more importantly, how can you see it coming before it's too late? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see the people around you forever. Why do people turn against you? Betrayal is not just an act. It's a process, a psychological storm that brews beneath the surface long before it strikes. Carl Jung believed that betrayal stems from the darker, hidden parts of the human psyche, what he called the shadow self. But what does this mean? It means that when someone betrays you, it's rarely about you. It's about them, their insecurities, their repressed desires, their inner conflicts. These are the real forces at play. 1. The shadow self and hidden resentment. Carl Jung taught that every person has a shadow, a collection of thoughts, emotions and desires they suppress because they don't fit their ideal self-image. But when someone suppresses these feelings for too long, they can project them onto others. Think about it. Has someone close to you ever suddenly turned hostile, seemingly out of nowhere? Maybe they began subtly criticizing you, downplaying your achievements, or distancing themselves. Often this is because your success or confidence triggers something unresolved in them, perhaps envy, insecurity, or even self-hatred. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow self is one of the most powerful explanations for human behavior, especially when it comes to betrayal. The shadow represents the parts of ourselves that we suppress or deny because they don't fit the image we want to present to the world. These hidden emotions, jealousy, insecurity, anger, or feelings of inadequacy, don't just disappear. They lurk beneath the surface, waiting for an outlet. Now imagine this. You have a close friend who always supports you until you start achieving more success than them. At first they congratulate you, but something feels off. They stop celebrating your wins with genuine excitement. Their compliments start sounding hollow. Over time they pull away, become distant, or even subtly sabotage you. What's happening? Their shadow self has been triggered. Deep down they feel envious, inadequate, or even abandoned. But instead of facing these emotions and acknowledging them, their mind finds an easier way. They project their negativity onto you. To justify their feelings, they might start thinking, they don't deserve it as much as I do, or they've changed, they're not the same person anymore. This is how betrayal begins. Long before any actual act of disloyalty, the mind builds a case against you, twisting reality to protect their ego. Example: imagine working with someone who has always been a teammate, a collaborator. You share ideas, help each other, and celebrate successes. But then you get promoted. Suddenly their attitude shifts. They no longer share information. They start gossiping about you. At first, it seems minor, but then they actively work against you, maybe even trying to discredit you in front of others. Their shadow self couldn't handle your success because deep down they felt they deserved it more. But instead of confronting their feelings, they turned their resentment into betrayal. Again, let's say you've been working on yourself, improving your health, building better habits, or even starting a successful business. You expect your closest friends to support you, right? But instead, one of them starts making sarcastic comments. "Oh, look at you, all disciplined now, must be nice. You think you're better than us now, huh?" At first, you might brush it off as a joke, but soon you notice a pattern. They don't show up for you anymore. They downplay your achievements. Maybe they even discourage you outright. Why? Because your growth is a reminder of their stagnation. Instead of being inspired, their shadow self resents you. How do you recognize and protect yourself? Pay attention to subtle shifts in behavior, distance, sarcasm, lack of support. Trust your intuition. If something feels off, it usually is. Set boundaries. If someone repeatedly undermines you, create distance. Don't take it personally. Remember, their betrayal is about them, not you. Betrayal is rarely sudden. It's a slow psychological shift rooted in unresolved emotions. And once you understand how the shadow self works, you'll start noticing these warning signs before the knife is in your back. 2. The manipulative mask. That's when betrayal is calculated. Not all betrayals come from hidden resentment. Some are intentional, calculated, and manipulative, the kind that leaves you wondering how you didn't see it coming. Carl Jung believed that some people wear masks. They present one version of themselves to the world while hiding their true motives. These individuals are often charming, supportive, and even protective, until they no longer need you. Think of that person who was always there for you when they needed something. Maybe they relied on you for emotional support, financial help, or social connections. But the moment you stop being useful, they disappear, or worse, turn against you. These people don't betray you because of unresolved emotions. They betray you because it benefits them. Let's say you have a friend who always seems to have your back. They compliment you, defend you, and make you feel important. But over time, you start noticing a pattern. Whenever they need something, they're extra kind. The moment you can't provide what they want, they withdraw. Maybe they were never truly your friend. They were just playing a role, a mask of loyalty, until it no longer served them. Let's look at a romantic partner. In relationships, this betrayal can be devastating. One day, your partner seems deeply in love, attentive, caring, affectionate. Then, almost overnight, they become distant. They stop putting in effort, they dismiss your concerns, and eventually, they leave, sometimes without an explanation. Why? Because they were never invested in the relationship the way you were. They stayed as long as it was convenient, but their loyalty was never real. These betrayals are often carried out by people who lack empathy and emotional depth. They view relationships as transactions, a way to get what they want. Jung believed that people like this operate from a false persona, meaning they shapeshift depending on what benefits them most. This is how you protect yourself against such. Look for patterns. Do they only show up when they need something? Test their loyalty. See how they act when you set boundaries. Trust actions over words. Anyone can say they care, but real loyalty is proven. Detach from manipulators. If someone always leaves you feeling used, it's time to walk away. The worst part about betrayal from manipulators is that it feels personal, but it's not. They do it because that's who they are. The sooner you recognize the signs, the less damage they can do. 3. Betrayal is often rooted in jealousy. Jealousy is one of the most destructive forces in human relationships. Carl Jung believed that envy arises when someone sees in you what they feel they lack in themselves. This can be success, confidence, intelligence, relationships, or even just inner peace. When someone close to you secretly resents you, they might not even realize it at first. But over time, their jealousy festers, turning into bitterness and eventually betrayal. Here are some signs of jealousy leading to betrayal. Fake praise and backhanded compliments. Someone who secretly hates you may often disguise their jealousy as flattery. They might say things like, "Wow, you got that promotion? Must be nice to have connections. You're so lucky, some of us have to actually work hard." On the surface, it sounds like a compliment, but underneath, there's resentment. They can't bring themselves to genuinely celebrate your success, so they downplay it instead. Diminishing your achievements. If you achieve something great, A jealous person won't be happy for you. Instead, they'll find a way to make it seem less impressive. You start a business and they say, "Yeah, but how long do you think that will last?" You get in shape and they say, "It's easy when you have time to go to the gym." They won't openly attack you, but they will slowly chip away at your confidence, making you doubt yourself. Sudden distancing and cold behavior. A person who is jealous of you might suddenly start pulling away. They may stop responding to your messages, exclude you from plans, or just act indifferent toward your good news. Why? Because your success reminds them of their own perceived failures. Instead of dealing with their insecurities, they'd rather remove you from their life, or worse, betray you behind your back. Imagine you and a co-worker start at the same company at the same time. You work hard, take initiative, and soon get promoted. Your co-worker, instead of being happy for you, starts spreading rumors. They say you only got the promotion because the boss likes you. They undermine your work in meetings. They act friendly to your face, but secretly try to sabotage your reputation. This is jealousy turning into betrayal. Let's say you've been best friends with someone since childhood. You both dreamed of making it big, but as you start achieving your goals, your friend doesn't. Instead of being inspired, they grow resentful. Suddenly, they're making sarcastic jokes at your expense, talking behind your back, and distancing themselves. Their resentment eventually leads them to betray your trust, maybe by revealing your secrets or turning others against you. Jealousy doesn't just ruin relationships, it poisons them. And the worst part? People often betray you not because they hate you, but because they hate that they're not you. 4. The power struggle. That's when betrayal is about control. Not all betrayals come from jealousy or insecurity. Some happen because people want power over you. Carl Jung believed that relationships often involve hidden power dynamics. Some people only feel secure when they are in control, and if they sense that they're losing that control, they will betray you to regain dominance. Have you ever had a friend, boss, or partner who seemed supportive at first, but the moment you started asserting yourself, they turned against you? That's a sign that they never saw you as an equal. They saw you as someone to control. For example, you start excelling at work, maybe even outshining your supervisor. Instead of recognizing your contributions, they suddenly become critical, micromanaging you, taking credit for your work, or even sabotaging your chances of advancement. They feel threatened by your competence, so they betray you to maintain their dominance. Let's look at the controlling friend or partner. At first, they seem like they want the best for you. But the moment you start making your own decisions, setting boundaries, or gaining confidence, they turn cold, or worse, start manipulating you with guilt, anger, or silent treatment. Why? Because your independence threatens their sense of control. Jung described power struggles as unconscious battles between egos. When someone builds their self-worth on having influence over others, they see your growth as a loss of power for them, so they retaliate. They might undermine your confidence with backhanded compliments or discouraging words. Create drama to make you feel like the bad guy. Play the victim to guilt-trip you into compliance. How do you protect yourself against these ones? Recognize power games. If someone supports you only when you're dependent on them, that's a red flag. Stay firm in your decisions. Don't let emotional manipulation make you doubt yourself. Surround yourself with people who genuinely support your growth, not those who want to control it. People who betray out of power and control were never on your side to begin with. They only liked you when you were easier to manipulate. 5. The shadow projection. That's when betrayal is a reflection of their own darkness. Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow self, the hidden, repressed parts of our personality that we refuse to acknowledge. Sometimes betrayal happens because someone projects their own flaws, fears, or desires onto you. Have you ever been accused of something you never did by someone who actually does that very thing? Maybe a friend who constantly lies accuses you of dishonesty, or someone who secretly envies you claims you're the jealous one. That's their shadow at work. You have a friend who always talks negatively about others behind their backs. One day, they suddenly start accusing you of gossiping, even though you've done nothing wrong. Why? Because they see their own toxic behavior in you, even though it's not real. Instead of confronting their flaws, they shift the blame. Let's say you have a partner who constantly accuses you of cheating, checking your phone, or questioning your loyalty, despite you being faithful, might be hiding their own guilt. Their betrayal is projected onto you so they don't have to face their own wrongdoing. Jung believed that when people refuse to accept their dark side, they look for an external enemy to blame. This is unconscious self-protection. They betray you before they can acknowledge their own flaws. They cheat, so they suspect you. They lie, so they assume you do too. They are insecure, so they accuse you of being envious. They betray you not because of who you are, but because of who they are. This is how you protect yourself against such people. Recognize when someone is projecting. If their accusations seem to come out of nowhere, they might be revealing their own flaws, not yours. Don't take it personally. Their betrayal is about them, not about you. Set boundaries. You can't fix someone who refuses to face their own darkness. When someone betrays you through projection, understand this. You were never the problem. They were fighting their own demons. 6. The narcissistic betrayal. That's when someone uses you for their own gain. Not all betrayals come from insecurity or fear. Sometimes, betrayal is calculated, intentional, and cold-blooded. This happens when you're dealing with someone who sees you as nothing more than a tool for their own advantage. This is how you recognize a narcissistic betrayer. They charm you at first. They make you feel special, valued, and important, until they get what they want. They lack empathy. Your pain doesn't matter to them. If betraying you benefits them, they'll do it without hesitation. They always put themselves first. Your needs, feelings, and well-being are secondary. They betray because they never truly cared, only about what they could gain. Imagine you have a friend who only calls when they need something, money, connections, or emotional support. But when you need them, they're nowhere to be found. Then one day you realize they've been talking behind your back, taking credit for your work, or betraying your trust. Why? Because you were never their friend. You were a resource. A co-worker pretends to be your ally, praises your ideas, and acts like they have your back. Then, when an opportunity arises, they steal your work, take the promotion, and leave you in the dust. They betrayed you because it benefited them. Narcissistic people see relationships as transactions. To them, betrayal isn't personal, it's just business. If staying loyal benefits them, they will. If betraying you benefits them more, they will. This kind of betrayal is the most painful because it makes you question your own worth. But remember, their actions say nothing about you, it only reveals who they truly are. How to protect yourself? Stop making excuses for them. If someone only shows up when it benefits them, trust what you see. Set clear boundaries. Don't allow people to take advantage of you just because you're kind. Cut off toxic people. If someone has betrayed you once for their own gain, chances are they'll do it again. Betrayal from a narcissist hurts the most because it feels like you were never valued to begin with. But remember, they lost someone loyal. You lost someone who never truly cared. Betrayal is painful. It shakes your trust, wounds your heart, and makes you question everything. But here's the truth. It's not the end. It's a revelation. Every act of betrayal exposes the true nature of the people around you. It's not a reflection of your weakness, but of their character. The pain will pass. What matters is what you do with the lesson. Will you let it make you bitter? Or will you let it make you wiser? Trust slowly, observe deeply, and never fear walking away from those who don't value your loyalty. Because at the end of the day, the right people will never betray you. If this video resonated with you, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because someone out there needs to hear this today.